and welcome to Grace and Lottie's. We are live now. It took a second for it to load up. I was trying to be really good and hit that right when the counter hit down. But anyway, here in my studio, I went out shopping last night and found some new markers right here, the brush and dual tip. And so I thought, hey, let's try those out, and I will do a live unboxing so that we can kind of see how they live up. No editing, no quick shots or anything like that, just a real quick look at what these are like. So you can see here is the box with these. Not too exciting. It's got the color list right here. Now, one thing I noticed with these, looking at the color list on this, and I'm going to zoom it in just a little bit. Come on, zoom in. There we go. So that you guys can see it a little bit better, is that these are not color matched for the dual tips. So the wide tip is one color, the brush tip is one, and then the fine tip is another. So don't know if I'm going to like that or not. I'm willing to give it a try, and maybe their idea to do it this way was a great idea and it's actually going to work out wonderfully. Don't know for sure. So I'm going to go ahead and sit down now and get this box open for us. I'm going to zoom it just a little bit more. Come on, camera. Zoom in. There we go. Sorry for the bounce. My tripod likes to bounce a little bit, so I'm cheating with scissors so that they're not going to rip too much. And there is plastic wrap on this. They really want to make sure you don't peek in the store and nobody steals one of your markers. So let's get in here and open this up. Very satisfying always to get plastic wrap off. And it is a nice tin. I'm not going to lie, the packaging on this is really nice and usable. And wow, look at how much space they give to each marker. So we have 2 trays here, and it is 16 total markers, so 32 total colors because they are not perfectly matched for these. They do have the name on them, which I like that. I'm not going to have to try to keep this and refer back to it to try to remember, although it is nice to keep these sometimes because I don't remember the color, but the cap is colored as well, so that may be easier to see. Now with this guy right here, if you notice, all of these are clear. This one doesn't appear to be a clear, I'm going to open that. So it is still a fine tip down there and a brush tip here, so that's in. Okay, so just wondering why that cap is a little different, because you can see all of these have the clear cap and then that one's not. So let's get these out and see how they mark. Now I have some other markers here. I've got my Stabilo fine tips, and then I've got this other set that I bought over at Hobby Lobby a while back, and $14.99, same price as these. And it's got 30, and they are color matched, so it's 30 different colors. One is more of a thicker tip, and one's the thin tip that's closer to the Stabilo. Now these are looking like they're going to still be a fairly thick tip. I won't know until I give them a good try here. I'm willing to see how they do. This is a coloring sheet that I did actually, yeah, it was Sunday's video that uploaded. If you want, you can go and download this sheet, or you can watch my video and learn how to draw one yourself. Now my printer did mess up a little bit and skipped when I was pulling it, so I've got a little mess up there. That is not in the actual sheet. That is just my printer. I put this on really nice paper. Typically, I would not use my nice Bristol for this, but this is like Bristol 400 here. So I thought this will give these markers the best shot possible to see how they work. Now I'm grabbing the red and scarlet here. So I figured I can see how the brush tip will work. It's a fairly stiff brush coming out. I don't know if that's gonna work itself out. Let's just, for giggles here, I'm going to grab the orange and we'll see if that blends at all on this as I blend. I'm blending nicely on that. I'm kind of surprised. I didn't expect it to. And I'm also not getting a lot of streaking with this on the paper. It's doing great. Okay, so that's a win for this one. I'm gonna go into the yellow here and we'll see. Oop, did not put that away well. Kind of see if that continues. Oh, I picked up a little bit of the black there from my printer. Yeah, we're blending great. Okay, so that is a win. I did not expect that. That's a happy win on this. We'll just let that kind of fade into white there in the middle. So let's see, I'll go on the other side now, and we're gonna try out the fine line. I'm gonna do this using kind of a hatching motion. I'm just gonna hatch it, and that'll create some fun. And then I'll come in with my orange now. We'll hatch that. I am very messy with my hatching. I am not the neatest. I'm going to take that orange just a little bit further. And then we'll come in with the yellow here. That is a very, very, very pale yellow, almost neon. I'm having trouble seeing it, and I've got some pretty decent light going in here. So I don't know how ultra useful that color is going to be, but I will give it a shot. Now I'm going to try this with my Stabilos here real quick next to it. So I'm going to pull a yellow. Now Stabilo doesn't have a bright orange, so I'm going to get something close to an orange, and then the yellow right here, and we'll see how they do. So you can see this is a finer tip than the Crayola. So these are the 88s. Now, if the 68 may be closer to this one, I do not own a set of the 68. So you have those, let me know. That might be useful with this. So color-wise, we're still looking pretty good. That is a wider tip. I'm trying to tell if it's bleeding a little bit, because we may have a little bit of bleed going on with it. But this is slightly different color here, so looking with that, because you can see that's the bright yellow. I'm going to grab a piece of scrap paper here and we can look at these side by side, because I think this is going to line up. I don't know. You guys can't even see that. It is I mean, just barely. So let's see if it matches up. Kind of with the neon. Yeah, I would say those are about the closest right there. And those are very, very, very light colors. Now, one other thing I wanted to test. Now, let's see here. If I've got my brush. See, I've got some brush color. And this is the scrap from when I printed this. So if I go back over it, am I going to get like just the slightest hint of maybe some shadowing, which I thought might be a neat way to use these. So just getting a little bit there. Yeah, see this one, it's a little bit of a lighter color, so it's not really showing up on it. So I would say definitely make some test swatches of these before you use them, because they're not across the board going to work the same together. We've done some warm. Let's look at the cool colors here. We're going to this nice deep blue. Let's see how he does. That is a really pretty shade right there. I'm partial to blues. That's why I have blue hair. So that, yeah, that's a really pretty color. Getting a little bit of bleed with that. And then we'll do a little purple with it. Oh, that's not what I expected at all looking at the cap color. It's called Prune. To me, it looks a lot more blue than what I would expect a prune to be, personally. And then this is violet. It looked a little pinkier. Yeah. It's a warmer purple here. And then this guy right here is primrose. Yeah, pretty close to a mulberry shade. I didn't know if it would be more of a lilac-y purple. So now let's look at the opposite sides of these. This is azure versus, or sorry, blue bolt. I'm looking at the wrong side. Easy. It's got a little more green in it. And I'm looking to see on my things if sometimes maybe one of the other ones would be closer to that azure, but no. I kind of like the idea of having them color matched personally, because I know what to expect. It's going to be a lot less, I think, of a learning curve in using these. Wrong side. And dual tip, nice because you're getting two markers out of it. Yeah, these are not blending nearly as nicely as these down here. You can see this is the lilac color I was looking for is here in the little tip. So, and the fine tip. And then this one's a lot pinker here than the violet, and it's called Flamingo Pink. So yeah, that one should be pink versus violet. So those are on different sides of each other. And then I've got Wild Orchid, which yeah, is a lot more. No matter what, you can create some cool things with these. They're not a total wash. I really have a feeling that I would have preferred having these be the same colors. Now, it is nice to have a 10 where they're all together like this in one. You know, you're traveling rather than with multiple sets, but if you've got a box this size, you could fit a lot more markers in it if you were traveling, if you didn't use the divider. So might be something to think about if that is your goal with these, is to use them for traveling and stuff. And that's why you buy the dual set. It's not so that you just have one set of markers and then another set. And with these, I'm looking to see, yes, I do still have these. I bought these a while back and looked at them and said, so let's see if these color-wise or tip-wise even match up with the ends. They're not going to match up color-wise. These are the classic colors that you used to get when you were a kid. So I'm going to grab a green, a good old green here. And I'm going to see just for tip size. These are looking very similar. Yeah, these are a little bit finer. I don't know how much you can see that looking at these. Hold it down here too, but not a whole lot. So maybe if you've already got these markers, these will help kind of bridge the gap for some of the colors in the fine tip so that they'll match up, because this is jungle green. Right there, it's a little bluer, but similar to a true green. I don't know, maybe this one's closer. Pine green, this should be darker. Yeah, it's a darker green there. So it'll give you a couple more. So if you have these sets, probably a good one to mix in with these. Now I haven't looked too much at these Hobby Lobby sets. I'm going to pull those out real quick and I'm going to look at the tip size in comparison. Now this one has the fine that's similar to the Stabilo. Really nice and fine line there. But then it also has this other tip, which I think is going to be, it's similar. This is going to be more similar to the brush tip. Well, I thought, because it's not, it's called a thick tip. So this is kind of a hybrid then between their brush tip and their fine tip. So something there to have in there. Now, with working with stuff, I love to have a broad variety of items in your toolkit. As you see, each one of these has been different, so that gives it a nice spot, so that if you're looking for a certain look, like I do not own any brush tips. I do not own any Tombos or any of those right now. I've thought about getting them, so maybe I will end up doing that. So overall, first impressions, I do like them. I think they have a good feel. The pen in your hand is a good weight. It's not too small, not too thin. Just gonna need to get really used to the fact that they're different shades and getting to know the colors on these and how they're going to work together. So that is my take in a nutshell. I will probably take out these dividers in here and just put all of my markers that are Crayola together in one spot. It'll be a little bit easier, even though this nice little box with these dividers is nice, but it's just not very space practical. So hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm going to be doing a longer form video, just kind of showing some ideas on how to use these a little bit later. So be looking for that, as well as you can go to the blog if you want to download this coloring sheet and color along. That's www.graceandlattes.com. Or you can also go learn how to draw your own. That was a previous video, and when the video finishes uploading, I will add a card in probably around in this area right here so that you can go and look that up and learn to draw your own. Actually, I was off screen. We'll do it here. So that you can draw your own. All it takes is a ruler. It's not very hard to do. So remember that art happens in everyday life. Make sure you're watching for it.